Hi, everyone. I'm Christine Tulley, President and Executive Writing Coach at Defend and Publish. Welcome to episode 59, Happy Hustles. I have to credit this episode with a dear friend who lives in the United Kingdom. Her name is Bec Evans, and she is one of the co-founders of a group named Prolifico. They're fabulous. You should check them out. They do a lot with writing productivity, which is how I first connected with them. Bec wrote a book called How to Have a Happy Hustle. I'm going to show a cover of it. I will link to it in the show notes. And her guide is all about making your ideas happen. And I like her work anyway, so I was going to read this book no matter what. But the more that I started thinking about it, I started thinking that for many of us, our academic employment is very contingent. It's very insecure. We don't know if our institutions will still be there. We don't know if our positions will still be there. Even those of us with tenure, things are slowly eroding. Many of us are losing retirement funds or healthcare benefits. And this is not to say, not to get that in on a negative note. We're focusing on happy hustles. But the idea, I think, for this episode and the focus that I want to have on is what is something else that you can do that will provide another level of income, that will help, where you can use your writing, that you can use a lot of the research or some of the other creative material that you might be making. How can you use this in your academic position, but also beyond that for something else? And so I want to give a couple of examples of what I mean by this. Certainly, I'm now the president of Defend and Publish. I did not make this company. That is Beth Hewitt, our past president, and still one of our executive writing coaches. So if you'd like to say hello to Beth or work with her, please do check her out on our coaches list. So I did not make this company. She did. But this is something where we're looking at using an academic degree to develop another position or another type of work. And so that's something that Beth has done. Another person that has done this, and I'm going to share a screen for this one, that I think can give us another example, is another dear friend that I have, Megan Adams. She is also a professor with myself at the University of Findlay, and her husband, Kyle Adams, who has a degree in rhetoric, founded their Home Place Creative Company. And this is something they're passionate about. They're very passionate about doing narrative storytelling. They do a lot with video. You definitely should check them out. Their work is fabulous, just like Bec Evans. But the thing that I like about this is that you can tell that there's joy in this other project. Megan's still working as a professor. She's still a professor in the discipline. She still has a university job, but she has this other area of her life that she's interested in. And then those two areas start to overlap, her work outside of the university and then her work within the university. And one of the reasons why I like the book about how to have a happy hustle is that Bec Evans really talks through how to make ideas happen. And this advice would hold true whether you're in a university environment or not. So one of the things that I started thinking about when I read her book is, what are some things that I would really like to do with Defend and Publish that we don't already have? And so one of those is an academic moms support group that meets once a week during the month of February, at the time we're recording this in February of 2022. But I'd like to do other things. I definitely would like to have a group for a literature review. I would like to run more 3-hour workshops where I bring in guest speakers from lots of disciplines. And so I'm able to do that and really enjoy the work that I'm putting into doing that. This can also extend, though, to academic work. So, for example, in 2013, I founded a graduate program, a master's degree at my institution, and that was a degree that nobody thought they wanted. I was really the only one that was really interested in starting this master's degree, and even though I didn't know Bec then, and I didn't know the principles in her book at that time, I realized that one of the things I liked about was working towards a cause that I believed in, that I was interested in, and that was fun. And so we might think about how this translates to our writing projects and some of the things that we're doing. Some of us are probably writing because we have to. We have to publish articles, we have to publish manuscripts, we need to defend that dissertation. And if that is you, you're not alone. And the clients that we see at Defend and Publish, many of them come to us with just that thing. They say, I don't love writing. And, so one of the things that we do is try to work with you to like it a little better and to be able to do a lot of it independently. But some of us really do like writing about our subjects and that we're interested in some of the research that we're pursuing in a way where we have a passion for it. We would still read about it even if we didn't have that article due. And so, what I'd encourage you to think about with this episode a little bit is what are some of your interests that you might be able to turn into something else? Maybe that could be a paid gig or a fun side project. Maybe it's going to be something within the academy, developing a new course, developing a new project of some sort, or a collaboration between departments. One of the great things about academia, whether you're inside of it or outside of it, is that all of us have been trained to think critically and to think about different ideas and how to actually make those ideas happen out in the world. We put them on printed pages, and when we're thinking about making them happen in the world, sometimes our discussions of them are theoretical. What would it look like if we did X? And so what I'd like to encourage you to do this week is really think about how you might make some of those ideas happen out in the world for real. So if that's something like starting, a side business, if it's something where you're going to work on a collaborative project with a colleague, maybe you'll do some writing for public scholarship. Another one of our Defend and Publish events coming up in May of 2022 when we're recording this is that Jim Lang, author of Distracted and On Course, is going to talk to us about writing for the public and really having that joy of taking some of the scholarly material that we do and putting it out there in a public forum for non-academic audiences. So that could mean, writing a blog where you're getting your ideas out there or doing a TED Talk. So, many of these ideas, I think, all get back to the idea of having that sense of satisfaction with really producing something in the world. And while publishing articles and writing books is very satisfying, many of us really, love the thrill of doing that. In a lot of ways, it's not the same thing as making your own content and putting it out in the world in a way that you can control a little bit more. So as I'm showing the screen of Megan right now, you can see that she's helped design this website. She's probably figured out why certain content is going where it is. That's her on the cover. She's obviously having a good time. So it does give some food for thought as to how to maybe make that kind of joy in your own academic projects and even projects that are outside of the academy. So something to think about this month. What are your happy hustles? What's something that you could do that will bring you that satisfaction and joy? So I hope this helps this month, and happy writing.